Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now, in this video, I'm going to discuss how we've seen Scream 5 mirror Scream 1 and Scream 6 mirror Scream 2 in many ways. And assuming they're going to continue this pattern, I will share 3 possible ways that Scream 7 could mirror Scream 3. Now, there are certainly more than 3 ways that you could do it, as pointed out by a recent article in Screen Rant where they laid out 6 possible ways. However, I'm going to focus on only 3, and I'm going to discuss whether or not I think it's a good idea to go this route or not. Let's go!
Hi, my name is Michelle Laliberté. I'm the production designer on Scream 6, and you're watching Craven Something Scary.
So as I mentioned, Screen Rant recently posted an article titled 6 Ways Scream 7 Can Mirror Scream 3. And of that list, I narrowed it down to 3. And coming in at number 3 is that it is set its location in Hollywood. Now there's a couple of ways this could go down. First, they could be making Stab 9. Because in Scream 6, it happened, about a year later from the events of Scream 5. There was no mention of Stab 9 in the movie. So presumably it's not been made yet. So this could be being filmed as we speak in Scream 7. Now the Stab movies were not a huge part, as you know, of Scream 6. We saw the posters in the theater and the shrine and all that. But if Scream 7 takes place in Hollywood, the Stab movies could become a big part of the franchise again, and could even make one based on the Scream 5 and Scream 6 events, following Sam and Tara instead of Sidney like the old Stab movies did. So they could be a modern, version of the Stab movies. Now, there's another thing that they could do and avoid the Stab movies altogether to really get more with the current times we're in. And instead of doing a Stab movie, they could be filming a true crime TV series documenting the events of Scream 5 and 6. So basically the same concept as I mentioned before, following the events of Sam and Tara's, escapades, if you will, from Scream 5 and 6, all of the attacks and so on and so forth. But it would be a documentary style, like we saw with Netflix did with Dahmer. And, there's a lot of other out there you can stream and watch these multiple series with multiple episodes. That's kind of where we're at now. It's all this direct streaming episodes. So that would be a modern twist on Scream 3. Instead of a movie, it's now direct, series. So we could be in Hollywood and we're seeing them film this, and it's the cast of the documentary series. So that's just one way they could do it. Well, that's 2 ways total, but that's one different way that we could do it. Personally, if they do go back to Hollywood to try to mirror Scream 3 and keep this trend going that they've been doing with 5 and 6 mirroring the originals, I really do prefer the documentary style. I really don't want to see another Stab movie set. I think that I really love Scream 3. That's been done, and Wes did it really well. So I would love to see something different. Like it's an homage to 3, but it's a really different interpretation of it. So that's what I personally would like to see if they do go back to Hollywood mirroring Scream 3. All right, coming in number 2 for me is have Ghostface's motive connected to Sam's past. So both Scream 5 and 6 have focused on Sam's connection to her father, Billy, but Scream 7 could explore other aspects of her past that hasn't been showcased yet. So we've been wondering all of this time about Sam and Tara's mom, right? Christina Carpenter. We've heard about her. They've mentioned her in both movies. We've never seen her. We don't know who it is. And we still know nothing about Tara's dad, which, as you know, is Sam's stepfather. And we found out in Scream 6 was abusive to Sam. That was new information. And we know he abandoned the family when Sam was just 13. So we don't know anything about who this is. We don't even know his name. So Scream 7 would be the perfect time to dive into one of them or both of them and possibly connect Ghostface to their relationship or to them in some way. Because remember, both Sam's mom and stepdad were in high school with Billy and Stu at the same time back in 1996. So it literally connects back to the original movie. So I would really like to see them explore these characters in 7. I was hoping we would have found out more about them in 6, but we didn't. So for me, this is a big one. I would love to find out more about them. And I wouldn't be surprised if both or one of them is not wearing a Ghostface mask in this movie. And finally, number one way that I think you could mirror Scream 3, I agree with this one, is you have a known character die in the opening. Remember Scream 3, the epic beginning there. I really enjoy it. We saw Cotton Weary die. I hated that because I liked Cotton, but he died in the opening of Scream 3. I think there's a really good chance we could see one of the core 4 or possibly Gale Weathers herself be the opening kill in Scream 7. My last video, I talked about Jenna Ortega and how the studio might have to move on past her because she's being committed to a lot of films, price is going up, and how she could possibly be the opening kill to get her on set for a couple of days and shoot it. But it doesn't have to be Tara. It could be literally Gale Weathers. Imagine killing her in the opening, which if they're able to bring back Neve Campbell, who's open to returning, it would be the ultimate springboard to get Neve, or in this case, Sidney, back into the picture. With Gale dying in the beginning, Sidney comes back now, helping the core 4 solve the mystery and put an end to this Ghostface who killed Gale. So it would be a natural way to get Sidney back into the picture, into the story. But if it's not Gale, it could easily be one of the core 4. And you guys know I was calling for Mindy to probably die in 6, which did not happen. But if I had to pick one right now, if it's not Tara, if they can, if they can get Tara back, great. Then I'm going to say it's not Tara. If they can't afford her or she's too busy for a long shoot, I'm going to go with Tara as the opening kill. But assuming she's back, Mindy is my number one choice to be that opening kill. Finally, I think she'll meet her end. But I think it makes a lot of sense. Mirror Scream 3, you kill off one of the known characters that's been there since the beginning. Even though Cotton was just talked about in the first one, we saw him on the TV screen for a minute, but he was still present there in some form. And in 2, he was a big part of the film, as you guys know. So, yeah, I think that's a way you do it too. You have an opening kill of one of these characters that has been surviving the first 2. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this video, but I want to know, what do you think about these 3 possible ways to mirror Scream 3 in Scream 7? Do you like these 3, or do you have other ways that you like better? I want to know what your thoughts, ideas, and what theories you have of how they could pay homage to Scream 3 in the same way 5 and 6 did for the first 2, or better yet, do you think that they should not even do that? Should Scream 7 be in a completely original film with no ties or mirrors to the past? Let me know. I want to know all about it. Tell me your thoughts below. I love to read your theories and your ideas, so leave them in the comments now, please. Well, guys, that's it for this update, but I'll be back soon with more Scream and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, this is Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.